Yeehaw, and welcome back to another episode of the Otakuology podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is Jen. He might have a narrow urethra, Graves, and today we're talking about season 14, episode 1 of our favorite show, King of the Hill. I have been waiting 16 years for this. Just saying.
I was so confused when you said go with me on this intro. And you said yeehaw before you said yeehaw, and I was like, am I supposed to say yeehaw?
Dude, I am so excited that we're covering this season of King of the Hill.
Let me ask you this question then. So if you ever found out that you had this disorder like Hank does, would you get some sounding rods?
I don't know exactly. Maybe when I'm older, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem peeing.
I feel like the sounding rods would be the way to go. Only to help that problem out.
I don't have a problem peeing. The problem I have is if I have too much sugar, I pee a lot. So,
well, shoot, you sound like you're older than me.
I am older than you, so
that is true. You're a lot older than me.
Not that much older.
So you'll have that narrow urethra before I do.
I think it's like you're born with it type of thing. I don't think it's like he just got it like one day. I think it just got worse over time. I think it's like a birth defect type of thing, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest. I haven't gone back and watched King of the Hill in quite some time. But I feel like I should now. Like, I feel like I have a vivid memory of King of the Hill and the history of King of the Hill, to be honest. Like,
I agree, too. I feel like I'm pretty much there.
Yeah, I mean, I would go back and watch episodes and stuff. I remember watching it when it first came out. I remember rewatching it in college. So, like, I've watched it a couple times, you know?
Yeah.
But I never expected for the world to get a new revival King of the Hill. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Do we call it a reboot, a requel? Like, what are we calling this? Like, because they just put it as season 14. It's not like something that new, like King of the Hills, you know?
I don't know. It's an age jump, I guess.
Yeah. Because, like, for us, it's been 16 years. For them, I think it's been like, well, Hank and Peggy have been gone for like 6 years, I think it was.
Yeah.
But I guess they also aged up 15 or 16 years. I'm guessing.
I don't think so. I don't think they've aged up that far.
Bobby's like 21.
Yeah. But Bobby was in his teens when we left.
Yeah, but he was in like high school.
Right. So how would they have been gone for 16 years?
No. I feel like time has passed for 16 years. But
okay.
Hank and Peggy have been gone from Arlen for like 6 years. I believe it is. Yeah. But
I could agree with that.
Let's get right into this. Episode 1, Return of the King. We see Hank and Peggy on an airplane coming back from Saudi Arabia, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And Hank has been over there working for Aramco with their propane division on the base that they have, which is interesting.
I was a little confused on that because isn't Saudi Arabia like more so known for like oil?
Yeah.
So when they were like, "Oh, propane," I was like,
maybe they were looking. Maybe it was for like the U.S. base or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how accurate this is.
Look, I don't know. I feel like it was a way to get Hank and Peggy away from Arlen.
Yeah.
They were so secluded in their little fake town that Aramco built, basically. It was it was almost like they got frozen in time.
Yeah.
In a sense. But I love this scene where Peggy still is annoying as God knows what.
Yeah.
Like, I've never liked Peggy as a character, but I think she's funny. Like the way she like like perceives the world and stuff,
Yeah.
and her oversharing with Hank about to everybody else on the plane because Hank was trying to piss in the bathroom.
Yeah. And it was taking him a
He was taking a
long
long
time.
time. Yeah, and she's like, "It's okay. He has a narrow urethra. It's okay. He was born with it or something.
Yeah.
It's been getting worse."
And then like every time he eats something, like it's been getting worse or whatever.
Yeah, because he was eating hummus and falafels, I think it was,
Yeah. Yeah.
all throughout their time at in Saudi Arabia.
And then it was just getting worse.
Yeah, and then they finally get back to Texas, and Hank kisses the ground
Yeah,
because
he
he's
does.
back on Texas, and everybody thinks it's weird. And Hank's starting to look around, and he's like, "What's going on? What happened to our airport?"
Right. I think one of the biggest things I love is when they're going to different places
Yeah,
and he goes, "Look, we have a Bob's." Oh wait, that says Boba.
yeah. And there's like a Chanel place in there and stuff like that, and
Yeah, yeah,
we get this scene where they're like going. They get picked up by like an Uber driver. I forget exactly what it was called in this world that they're in.
I think they said it was a lift.
Was it a lift? It was something. It was something, but it had a different name.
Yeah,
I forget what it was called. And they get picked up by a guy named Mohammed, and Peggy starts speaking like Arabic to him. And he's like, he doesn't understand what she's saying. And
yeah.
he's from like Saudi Arabia. And they're like, "Oh, we came from Saudi Arabia," which I
Oh,
love.
must have been a different dialect.
Must have been a different dialect, which I love the running joke that is still consistent to this day. Peggy does not know how to speak other languages.
You're damn right.
Because she doesn't know how to speak Spanish either, which got her in serious trouble back in the day.
You ain't lying.
And like, she just doesn't get it like that. She's terrible at speaking different languages,
Yeah.
but she thinks she's perfect.
Well, and then the funniest thing is like that's the point when we jump to like Bobby and his new restaurant, and we hear all the different languages that Bobby can speak, and you're like, what?
Yeah, Bobby can speak like fluent English or fluent Spanish, I believe.
Yeah.
And I guess a little bit of Japanese
Well,
or whatever.
I think he did Spanish, German, Japanese. And I feel like at one point he said something else in a different language, like not when he was at the restaurant.
Yeah, he
And it was like, what?
Which we'll get back to Bobby. We'll get back to Bobby when we get to him,
Yeah.
But we go with the Hills, Hank and Peggy, and they're going through Arlen and seeing how everything has changed over the past 6 years that they've been gone.
Yeah.
And Hank stops to get a taco, and he doesn't know what bathroom to use or restroom to use because they're all genders.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all gender. And he's like, "Peggy, are we all gender?" She's like, "I don't know. I know I'm female. That's all I know." And I was like,
No, she said something. She's
she's
I
female
know
presenting.
that I'm.
Female presenting, I think it
So
was.
it is
Yeah.
female presenting. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just laughed at that joke. I laughed at a lot of the fucking jokes in this episode. Because it's interesting to see, like, we'll talk about it later, but like, how in the original show Hank was always annoyed with something, but Arlen was like a safe space for Hank.
Yeah.
And now it's not a safe space for Hank at all.
Not at this moment. No.
Not at this moment. But they end up going back to the house, which they let somebody live there. His name was Brian Robertson. Which we see more of Brian Robertson later on. But I guess they rented it out to him.
Yeah, and then I think they got a house like down the road or something.
Brian Robertson?
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't see that part. Or maybe he did. I don't know.
yeah,
I know.
because Brian Robertson was the black guy.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I don't know if he like lives in the alley or lives in their neighborhood now or got another house. Like they weren't. I don't know if they were really like saying that
Yeah.
because he just said like he shows up. He's like, oh, I like hanging out with these guys, so I'm back. You know, that's what I got from it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he actually got a house. Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't know. I've only watched the first 2 episodes. Okay.
It's one
Uh,
episode too many, bro.
I know. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. Okay. Look, you don't understand how much I love King of the Hill. I think I love it
Okay.
more. I think I love it more than The Simpsons, to be honest.
Oh, I definitely love it more than The Simpsons.
And being somebody from Texas, I kind of get like this whole I get this whole show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get all the jokes and stuff. You know.
Nerd.
I know I'm a fucking nerd. But they come back and Hank ends up meeting Boomhauer again, and we find out that Boomhauer is dating somebody with a child.
Boomhauer's actually dating somebody and dating somebody,
Yeah,
not
he's dating somebody, dating somebody.
dating somebody and running.
Like he's in like a full blown relationship. He's done with like being a ladies' man.
Yeah.
Which it's funny because we haven't seen his girlfriend yet. I think we see her in the opening, and that's about it.
Yeah, we see her in the opening. That's technically the ending in this.
Yeah, and you don't even really see her face. She's hidden behind like big glasses and a mask because what's his name? His name's Joe Jr. I think it was the kid.
Maybe.
I don't remember what his name is. He can't understand what Boomhauer says, and I still can't understand what he says half the time either. But it was cool. It was cool to see that Boomhauer has kind of evolved over these years and possibly matured a little bit. You know, is this where we see Bill too, or is that later?
No, this is where we see the other guy.
Oh yeah, Brian. Brian.
Brian, yeah.
Yeah, because he's Hank is shocked that Brian is there, and we also see that Nancy is now she has a YouTube show and she like sells places in Arlen.
Yeah,
She's
the
no
realtors.
longer yeah, she's like a realtor or something, kind of. It seemed like with John Redcorn.
Yeah, which did you read the comments?
Yeah, the end comment was like, I bet Redcorn's banging her or something like that.
Oh, I laughed so fucking hard. I was like, man, we've known that for years.
But here's the thing though, which kind of makes me wonder. In one of the later seasons, she ends up breaking up with Redcorn and goes back with Dale. Even though, like, you know, she's like stops the affair.
Yeah.
Do you think she started the affair back up with John Redcorn?
No, I think she never actually got away from it.
But she actively stops seeing him and stops sleeping with him. Like she makes it a point in the original series.
I don't think it lasted that long
to cut him off. I would like to see where that goes, most definitely, because I feel like that's a big step back in a sense. You know, for her character, or as much character as we got of her, but like, you know, she seemed to be a little ashamed that like somebody was commenting that like, oh, I bet Redcorn's like fucking her. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, I laughed way too hard.
But we end up moving from them to over to Bobby in his place, Robata Sanasan. Is it Robata Chang? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Robata Chang, which is a German, Asian, Texas fusion restaurant.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was. And I
I
don't.
mean,
Go
it's
ahead.
supposed to be a German Asian restaurant.
Yeah, but with like his Texas influences that he's got over the years, I believe.
Yeah, yeah,
Because towards
yeah,
the end of the series, Bobby very much became really into food and very into like culinary stuff,
yeah.
from what I
Which,
remember.
like it made sense too, like that we've seen where he basically has been influenced and everything by Peggy for Spanish and all that for him to actually take on all these different languages that he has.
Yeah, and he continued on with his cooking and stuff,
Yeah,
and he's has. I don't. Do you think this is his only restaurant he has?
yeah.
Okay, which he runs it with Chain Wasana-song, somebody who hated Bobby in the past, like loathed Bobby.
Yeah, which I
It,
forgot what Chang looks like.
Chain is like a snotty Asian kid.
Yeah,
I believe he was like also like Laotian. He was kind of like Bobby's rival in a sense, I believe.
yeah. Bobby's rival with
Which you see Chang in the second episode.
okay,
Yeah, Chang shows back up in the second episode.
yeah,
Which we come to find out we see these college kids at the restaurant, and Bobby goes over to give them their food, and they're like talking to him about like school and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, I never went to college." This is a problem I have with the show,
I'm not gonna do that.
where he's like, "I'm not going to do that," and I'm like, "Oh, I am very much somebody who is like, yeah, you don't have to go to college, for certain jobs. I feel like for certain jobs, if you want to be like a police officer, doctor, lawyer, stuff like that, big
Yeah,
important jobs,
yeah,
you have to go to college. But for them to like fucking like kind of shun him and be like, "Oh, you don't go to college? Like, what's up with you?" I
yeah,
live in a college town, and I fucking hear that all the time. "Oh, you go to this college? Why don't you go to this college over here? This college over here is so much better."
yeah, yeah,
And like, I didn't like that they did that to Bobby, because Bobby seems like he's somewhat successful
yeah.
in
No, I
this
agree with that.
business. Like he seems to be he seems to be very much mirroring how Hank was with Strickland Propane in
Yeah,
this, as like he is putting in all the legwork and all the work into this. And Chang very much seems to be like the Strickland Propane of Robota Chang.
yeah, yeah.
Which I wonder if Robota was like Japanese for like Robert or Bobby. Because his
I
name,
don't
I think
know.
his name isn't his name. His actual name is like Robert.
Yeah,
I think it is.
yeah.
I
It
don't know.
is.
I don't know. But yeah,
Which
it's interesting how they mirror each other.
Yeah, which I mean, I think like some of the stuff that we see kind of as success
Mm-hmm.
that's different, that's not exact success, is the fact of how much he actually does work.
He works
Because like
hard.
he cooks and the other guy cooks,
Yeah,
but they don't have a dishwashing crew.
yeah. It just seems to be like the two of them
Yeah, and
right now. It just seems to be the two of them.
the other guy just seems to be the guy that cooks. Some of the stuff, and that Bobby's the one that does all the legwork on cleaning up and whatnot.
Yeah, because Chang is just like the money man, basically.
Yeah.
And that. But
But
go ahead.
um no, I agree with you on that. Like I agree, like there is like a lot of professions that we don't actually need like per se schooling like we have nowadays that costs that much.
Mm-hmm.
Not when it's stuff that you could get brought on by like somebody else that would know.
Or a trade.
Yeah, like the big one that comes to like mind right now is like nails. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people like I know with that actually start out at home and then they gravitate to having like a
Yeah.
nail salon and things like that. So, it's not something, and so like kind of them saying, "Oh yeah, well you didn't," the guy said, "Oh, you didn't get cussed out about
I think like
whatever it was."
misogyny or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
something
like
like that.
modern day misogyny.
And it was kind of like, but Bobby's more successful than that,
Yeah,
but
and
I'm
he's only
sure
like
it'll come into
21.
play. Yeah, I'm sure it'll come into play a little more on some of that stuff. The
Yeah.
other thing that I kind of hated it with that is like there's a part of this I liked, there's a part of it I didn't like.
Okay.
So I liked the fact that they thought he was cool enough to invite to their party or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
which I think that Chang goes to college because they somehow knew that
Yeah,
it
he
was,
he is the president of, I think it was like Alpha Alpha,
yeah,
which they were going to that party,
yeah.
I believe.
So, I mean, like you have that stuff and it's fine,
Mhm.
but like Bobby's like, oh yeah, maybe I can wait and do these dishes tomorrow, and then he kind of like gritted his teeth and he's like, no, like
Yeah,
that he
no, I
got it
gotta do
done.
it. Yeah.
But then the other really shitty thing I felt out of it was that the girl thought he was cool enough to sleep with for one time, but not to have more of a relationship with.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So like, even when he gets to the party, they're like, "Bro, like, where have you been?" Like, which they don't. Like, I guess they can't comprehend. Like, oh, like he has a full-time job. You
Right,
know, his work is like never done technically.
right,
And they get there, and he like kind of impresses the girl with like his cooking and stuff because he always keeps his spatula and his a bottle of hot sauce with him, which I
yeah,
thought was hysterical.
right,
Um,
yeah,
and we get to the point where like she's digging him, like she's digging the Bobby, and Bobby's always been pretty smooth with like the ladies,
yeah.
and they end up like making out and stuff, which, okay, go with me on this for a second. Did you
Okay.
think possibly Bobby was a virgin?
At this point,
Yeah,
I don't think
because
so.
he was like making out with her and stuff, and like she like took off her shirt. And he's like, "Oh, you think it's a little late?" And he, like she takes off her shirt. I was just curious because he also like has sex with his shirt on, which feels like a Hank Hill thing to do. I feel like.
Mm. I think it's just Bobby being bashful because we kind of got that thing where he was talking about too when he walks out and he sees Connie and he
Mhm.
says, well, social media made him,
Oh, body conscious.
yeah, body conscious or
Hmm.
whatever. And I think that's probably what it is that he's body conscious and there's not really a way to put a filter over it like
Yeah,
he's learned how to do on social media.
I have to
So,
say this next part where Bobby butt dials his mom,
oh my God.
and his mom is like listening to him basically make out with this woman, was
Yeah.
hysterical because she thought he
Yeah.
was eating.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is going on?
um, 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 yeah. No, I laughed really hard. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, baby,
My baby, my
are you,
baby.
are you listening to me? Hello,
Like,
baby.
yeah. But yeah, after this, we it's the night, it's the day after, I guess, and Bobby's kind of doing the walk of shame. He gets rejected because he kind of wants more of a relationship. He wants to see where
Yeah.
this goes with
Yeah.
this woman. And she's like, yeah, it's just kind of a one night stand. I just wanted
Yeah.
to get off, for a night.
Yeah. Which I really feel like maybe this person may come back around later
Yeah,
on.
I think so too. I think she
Because
might come back around.
I think that will be where it'll be her and maybe another girl that's into Bobby, and it'll be kind of, well, where's this going?
So we get the scene where Bobby ends up meeting Connie again,
Yeah.
which Connie is there to was meeting a friend. Do you
We
think
know Connie was sitting there sleeping with
do
somebody.
you think she was sleeping with Chain with Sauna Song?
I don't think.
Because
I
here's the
don't
thing.
think.
Here's the thing. Bobby and Connie have lost contact over the years.
Yeah.
But Connie knew about Bobby's restaurant with Chang. And she was kind of nervous that, like, yeah, it's like, oh, I'm here to see my friend. I think she's fucking Chang. Like, I really do.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think she may be hooking up with some other guy on the side. Now
I
go
think
with
it's
me here.
Chang. I think it's Chang. Because
Now
if
go with me
she.
here. I think it's somebody that's irrelevant. I think it's more of like a meaningless hookup. And the only reason I say this is because of when she brought up Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really weird. Like she let up a lot over about Joseph. And so I'm really wondering if that will play into a thing where whoever she did kind of hook up with is Joseph will be this person she's trying to go back after.
We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. See who's wrong on this point.
Or will we find out more that possibly she's more of like a bi person
Interesting.
and maybe she's hooking up with a girl?
Interesting. I'm going with Chang on this one, to be honest.
I mean, but do you think Chang's good enough for her to try and get away from to go back to Joseph?
Or you mean Bobby?
No, I don't think she'll ever get back with Bobby.
But Bobby and her were like an item for a very, very long time.
Yeah, but I mean there will have to be some kind of groundwork that will do that. The way that it kind of was now was very awkward on the
Yeah.
fact of seeing Bobby, and I think that the reason why was she also was kind of thinking about Joseph, which is why he got brought up.
Or maybe it's because she hasn't seen Joseph in a while.
I have no idea. She
She,
just it almost seemed like she like completely like
because
flipped the
if she was seeing Joseph, wouldn't she know that Joseph and Bobby were roommates?
No, I think she wants to see Joseph.
Oh, wants to see Joseph,
Yeah.
but Joseph isn't like the greatest guy.
I don't ask me that. I'm just saying I think that's kind of why she started kind of leaning into, you know, oh, well, how's Joseph? Like she perked up a lot when she started talking about Joseph, not when they were talking about the stuff with Bobby. And then when
Mm-hmm.
she found out that Joseph was still Bobby's roommate and that he was, you know, the had the stuff with Chango Sanasan and everything, I feel like that gave the thing where she was like, okay, I'll come to the restaurant. I really don't think if Bobby would have said that Joseph lived with him, she would have ever said that she was going to come to the restaurant.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
We'll have to wait and see. These are just theories and hypotheses right now.
Yeah, till season 15.
Till season 15, I guess. But Hank and Peggy are taking a drive, which we end up seeing. We end up seeing Bill again and Dale. We find out Dale he ran for mayor and he was mayor for like 36 hours and then he quit because
Yeah.
I forget what he said. He ran
He
on
said that it took him that long to find out of how horrible that basically the voting stuff was. If somebody as like crazy as he was able to get elected, that the system was already screwed up.
He won like 9% of the votes.
Yeah.
Which isn't a lot.
No.
I think
But
there were like 11 candidates.
I was like, if you actually got elected and you found out that there was fault in that by you winning, like, you know,
Yeah.
I feel like that also put into it a lot of how we have always known this like blatant disregard for like what's in front of his face of
Yeah.
John Redcorn and his wife.
Yeah, yeah, and Dale's kind of like a crackpot, you know? He's kind of a little crazy a little bit.
Yeah.
He's kind of out there. And we also get reintroduced to Bill. Bill has definitely let his house go even to more disarray with how you can see the outsiders and stuff. But Bill let himself go. He got to the end of Netflix. And you know what happens when you get to the end of Netflix? They issue like a warning thing to you, like to check up on you, a wellness check, basically.
Yeah, which is crazy shit.
Bill has become a hermit.
I've never heard of that.
Bill, I don't think it's a thing. Bill has become a hermit. He let his hair grow out. He has a beard. He's a bedridden almost, it seems like.
Yeah.
He's not living his best life after Hank and Peggy left.
Which it was weird, I do have to point out. The first part of us seeing him and then actually seeing him where he gets out of bed.
Yeah.
Because in the bed where you can't really see him, he looks way bigger than when he got out of bed.
Here's the funny thing.
Yeah.
In episode 2, he doesn't look like that.
He doesn't look the way that he does?
No. I mean, he looks a little bit bigger, but he ends up shaving his beard off and cutting his hair. And he looks a little older, but he doesn't look as obese, maybe, as he did in the first episode.
Yeah.
I mean, he was always kind of obese, but maybe I don't know, maybe Hank helped him out or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it was just for a joke, just for a funny joke, you know.
But like I said, you know, whenever you're kind of seeing where you're looking, it kind of almost reminds me of the Lorax.
Yeah.
Where he's having the conversation with the guy through the window.
Yeah.
You know, but seeing his outline or whatever, he looks way bigger than when we actually see him at the end get up.
Yeah, he does.
So I'm kind of wondering if there were a couple things that they were like, just go with it. We don't have to worry about it.
I think it was kind of just go with it.
Yeah.
Type of thing. I mean, because in the second episode, he still looks overweight.
Yeah.
But he's not he's a little bit bigger than he was in the original series.
Yeah.
A little bit. They've all aged some, you know?
Yeah, everybody's got crow's feet wrinkles.
Yeah, and stuff like that, you know? Which, remind me on this part, Hank and Peggy end up going for a drive. Or they contemplate going back to Saudi Arabia because they feel like they made a mistake.
Yeah, they go back to that and talking about how, the veil and everything that Peggy has to wear until they get farther or closer to the Americo or whatever, and then she can basically take that off, and they're almost weighted on hand and foot, you know. So and they're like, oh, did we make that mistake? You know, and Peggy brings up, which I thought was a pretty good call to, all the times before where we did see her stare at the ceiling, and she's like, I've been staring at the ceiling for, X number of years, and we've been gone, and now I feel like we haven't moved at all, and I'm still looking at this damn crack in the ceiling.
Well, here's the thing is they haven't moved at all.
That's true.
They haven't moved at all.
So they had that whole thing, and then it was okay, well, all the little spots Hank hates, that he has to go around the block to get into the neighborhood.
The barriers that they put up for no U-turns or whatever.
Yeah, and they're everywhere, and I mean, all this stuff, and it is different. I kind of wonder if we will see any of that change at all.
I think we'll see more change throughout Arlen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also get the Oklahoma style barbecue, which Hank almost has a freak out about because he almost wrecks his truck.
Yeah.
Seeing that.
Whoa.
And we get to this part where they go to Megalomart because Hank just needs to buy a tool to make himself feel better.
Yeah.
To get that endorphin rush almost.
Yeah,
and
which I can't remember what he said he was buying.
some kind of wrench, I think it was.
Switch it wrench or something.
Yeah, something like that. And he's like, I better get like a winch as well to like get Dale out of or Bill out of bed, basically.
Yeah,
And we see Hank and Peggy almost defeated and like holding hands and almost very cynical about like what they've returned to. And they end
yeah,
up running into these Girl Scouts. And Hank thinks, oh, these are all going to be gluten free and cost $50 a
yeah.
box. And the girls are like, no, these are just Girl Scout cookies, like there's nothing wrong with them.
And they only cost $5.
Uh,
But if you like the gluten cookies, we have those too.
They cost $6. And he's like, oh, which ones do you have? And she starts naming them off. He's like, oh, do you have the Samoans? Those are my favorite. And she's like, yeah, but they're not called Samoans anymore. They're called Caramel Delights, I think they were called, or something like that.
Yeah.
And she was like, we don't call them Samoans anymore because it offends the Samoan people. And Hank's like, huh, yeah. Like, and he realizes that you can change something, but still have the thing that you like.
Yeah. You can have a different name and it still is the same thing.
Yeah, which really hits home because that happened in real life.
Yeah.
With the Girl Scouts. Yeah. And my daughter was in Girl Scouts at the time, and I remember when that change happened. And people lost their shit. Like, it was the same cookie, just a different name.
Yeah.
And people would be like, oh, do you have the Samoans? I'd be like, hey, that's racist. They're actually called Caramel Delights now. Okay.
Right.
Quit that. Whenever I was selling them, I'd be like, hey, quit being racist. Do you want this racist cookie?
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no, and it's a really nice, touching scene because it's it comes to the point where like,
well, then you get this Hispanic guy that comes out too, and he goes, "Is that Samoans?" And then he's like, he has to tell him that.
Yeah, they're actually Caramel Delights or whatever.
And he's like, "Oh, is that a Sawzall?"
It's a Sawzall. Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, it is." He's like, "You can go get in the store," and they start sharing cookies and start talking and stuff. And Hank realizes that, like, yes, things have changed, but the community of Arlen is still technically there. The thing that he loved about Arlen, was the community.
And they're still like good people.
Yeah, good people. Good people are still there, even though there's bike lanes and you can't turn left. You have to go 5 blocks down. And you don't know which restroom to use. But then we get the scene where Hank is at home barbecuing, grilling, and he's talking about how he got the new grill master or whatever it was?
Yeah, and all the things that it had on it.
Was it the Char King? I think it was. I can't remember what it was called.
Something like that.
And he's like, it has like a Wi-Fi, touch screen. He can monitor the temperature through his phone or something. He was like, I took all those things off, and it's just a barbecue.
Yep. Which
is hysterical. And then Bobby gets there, and Bobby's got like his like steaks and stuff. He's like, look, Dad, I'm a professional. I can like do this. And Hank's like, look, you're a professional comedian if you think I'm going to let you touch my grill, which is weird because at the end of the series, him and Bobby like grilled together.
Yeah.
Which is weird to think that like Hank won't let Bobby use his grill.
I kind of think it was just a joke thing.
Maybe it was a joke, yeah. And then we get the ending where we see Bill in all his gloriness of his shirt and he's butt naked under it.
Yeah.
And he ruined all those steaks.
Bobby will probably just wash them off.
Just wash them off, yeah. But he ruined all those steaks, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But
a little dirt didn't hurt anybody.
Just a little dirty. Adds a little flavor.
Yep.
But let me ask you, what did you think of this first episode?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought there were some parts of it that were pretty weird. Like, everybody like, hey, do we all know that Bill's naked underneath that shirt?
That part was funny.
Uh, and then kind of like I think the really big like realization was after watching the new intro that was technically the outro in this one,
Yeah.
and kind of seeing that whole thing where it was like speeding through like what all we had seen before, like in the regular one,
Uh,
up to what it all had happened and what it aged. And I thought it was great. Like we saw where Hank left, and then we just saw, what'd you say his name was?
Brian.
Brian.
Yeah.
And Brian's sitting there,
Yeah.
and like we're just kind of going off of Brian for a while, and then it kind of like zooms back out, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. I really love this. I feel like this episode definitely front loads a lot of stuff and like tells you like what's been going on in a
Yeah,
sense. I thought it was really interesting how they took Hank and Peggy off the board and just like let them go, you know,
yeah,
like in a sense, and like they're basically like people at a time or people frozen in time, I guess you could say,
yeah,
and having to reallocate to society or to Arlen. I really like the parts with Bobby. I
yeah,
thought those were really well done, and I feel like Hank was very much a nostalgic thing to see Hank and everybody again. But the parts with Bobby, like I really did like.
yeah,
Like I feel like he had very good character growth,
yeah,
and like
yeah.
you
No, I
know,
agree with that too. I think he had like a lot of character growth, and I think that there's still going to be a lot that we'll be able to like find
yeah,
out and
and,
whatnot as we go.
and I really like it that they seem to like split the episode up, and because Bobby lives in Dallas, and he like they split the episode up of him and then what Hank and or Peggy are doing, you know, stuff like that. But I would really want to see if they ever like don't do if maybe they take Hank or Peggy off the board, maybe just do have Bobby in King of the Hill.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be interesting.
Hmm.
You know, to see what he gets up to.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's kind of an interesting character. He's a really good character. A lot of people,
Yeah.
Bobby. You
Oh,
know,
I agree. I agree. Yeah. Especially like what else to see happen. I mean,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. He very much could take over the mantle of the King of the Hill. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, whenever they wanted to, I guess I don't know. I mean, or maybe give him his own spinoff. I don't know how they would do that, but um,
I don't know. I really did think that we would probably have Bobby in this one,
yeah,
where
uh,
Bobby would be at the very end. You know.
yeah. But no, he was forefront in this episode, and I think they split it between him and Hank very
Yeah.
much so, which I liked. I liked it. I liked that we got most of the cast returning. I know we lost some of the characters in real life, the voice actors, and I feel like the new voice actors are doing the best that they can with what they have. You know,
Yeah.
um, I thought the new voice of Dale Gribble was pretty good, and I want to see. I really want to see where this goes. Like this is a solid reboot. I feel
Yeah.
like I can see why they took their time to make this just perfect and right. And they didn't like rush it out, it seemed like.
I
You,
agree.
you know, like some reboots that we would get, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it does seem like a lot of stuff just fit like just right. And
Yeah.
even though there was some stuff that I feel like some people could find that they didn't like or disagreed with, like you still have enough of it that's there that you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah, no, most definitely. I'm looking forward to covering the rest of this on the podcast. We
yeah,
are going to go back to covering the rest of Lazarus and then probably, or maybe switch it up. Maybe we'll cover Lazarus and like alternate between King of the Hill and Lazarus.
yeah, yeah,
You know, because we only got 3 episodes of Lazarus left to do.
That's true.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how we're going to exactly do that. We're not just going to be a King of the Hill podcast, but seeing as
Not
how we're
yet.
it's not yet, but seeing as how we're both really big King of the Hill podcast, or King of the Hill fans, and we've kind of like broadened Otakuology into being more than just anime and manga, in a sense.
Yeah, we brought it into pop culture.
Pop culture nerd stuff. So we'll have to see where this takes us. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us on our Instagram page. Leave us a question there, or a topic that you would like us to cover, and we'll give it consideration. Make sure to like and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and make sure to check us out on YouTube at Otakuology, where we actually do live shows, do live streams, as well as release our podcast over there. And where can they find you, Jen?
You can find me over at Bard's Tavern on Instagram or Manga Restart on Instagram. And of course, wherever Otakuology is, I'll be there.
And you can find me as well as at Otakuology, as well as you can find me on YouTube at The Otaku Mike, where I do comic book reviews. But yeah, thank you for listening, and hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, see you next Tuesday in Arlen.